5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. And we're here after the Packers take a hit to the Denver Broncos. You know what that's like.
Yeah. No pun intended.
No, but,
Micah Parsons.
Much worse than the loss is the injury to Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Arguably, he's candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He's definitely an All-Pro, leading the league in pressures. There's no replacing him, right?
No.
Not one person, that's for sure.
And here's the thing about the impact of him, which is still an impactful player, but the non-contact injuries is something that makes you, as soon as I saw it, I said, it just reminded me of a good friend of mine, Terrell Davis, who, one of the best running backs. And he was walking off the field on his own power. I'm thinking, hopefully he can continue his career down the line, but he never really got back, on the field. So those ACLs nowadays, they can get back a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But that being said, the next opponent, not having Micah Parsons is going to hurt.
Yeah.
Chicago wants to run the ball, they obviously want to throw the ball. But back to the impact time, when he plays against the run and gets that turnover at the beginning, that's the player that you need.
Yeah.
Going down the stretch.
Right. Making huge plays.
Yeah.
He actually drew a holding penalty, which many Packers fans have been asking for weeks.
Yes.
And you never know, in a game like Denver, he could go quite a while without a sack. But then, when you need it in the fourth quarter, when you got to get the bow next, he does it. And all the great players are like that.
Oh, no question.
When it's time to make a play, they do it.
Yes.
And now you wonder who's going to be that guy for the Packers.
Well, I have a suggestion. One of my favorite players. Cause we're looking at opportunities because Micah Parsons is still a leader of the team. His impact is still there when they'll see him after his surgery, and they're expecting him back next year. But now your youngest team in the league is going to get younger because you're going to see people out there. Maybe the fans don't even know. But it's one of my favorite players is number 55, Inibari. Now, he loves to go after the quarterback. This is a fantastic opportunity for him. And Lucas Van Ness has been wanting to get on the field.
Yeah.
That's a great opportunity for him. And maybe you have the combination, keep those guys fresh. But his impact, I'm praying, should be okay because you have 52. Rashan Gary, who's a Pro Bowler. But his impact is the biggest to me is against the run. That's where it's going to be hard to replace him. Because anytime he was stunting down like he did to get that fumble out, doing something, it's hard to block a guy who's so active.
Yeah.
And that's where, because I know immediately people are thinking, well, the impact would be him going out to the passer. Yes. But the biggest impact to me as a defender is a guy who can tie up blockers so I can get free.
Right.
So,
and I don't think Jeff Hafley can make dramatic changes in 1 week to the defense. So
no, you pretty much are what you are now.
Yeah, they could go back to what they were doing last year, but that's an adjustment in itself because it's been, you spent the whole last 4 months planning around Micah Parsons. I wonder, could you just put Rashan Gary in the Micah Parsons?
Oh, Rashan, that's a great point.
I don't know that he's not going to be Micah Parsons, but could he still be effective doing that?
That's a fantastic point. You could use Rashan Gary as the move guy. You could put him in the middle sometimes.
They've done that before.
Yeah, they've done that
last
before.
year.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great point. I will happily listen to that. But I think sometimes what I would try, I've never been a coach on that level. I wanted to at one point, but not anymore. And sometimes I always said to myself, and I used to say this to my coaches, don't confuse me while you're trying to confuse the other team. Because you can say, this is good for, that'll trick them, but you're tricking me.
Right.
So do something that I'm good at. So you can go back to principles of a 3-4 style, but some of the younger guys, they weren't here last year. It may be a head scratcher to them. So what you have to do, Tom, is what you said was brilliant, by the way. I've heard nobody say that. Putting 52 in Parsons' role, and now you can rotate Eric Barry and 90 and some of these other guys.
You're probably going to have to bring in Bretton Cox Jr. Off of IR and put him out there.
Yes. So matter of fact, hearing you say it made me feel a lot better. Because I'm trying to think of things that the fan base, when they see this, will feel good about playing Chicago. And 52 is a guy that wants all the smoke. He knows it's his opportunity. He's the guy. Mm-hmm. And I think as coaches, though, again, what defense that, okay, let's go back. When they were up, 24-13 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So, or 23-14. 23-14. I'm thinking, okay, you have to pivot somewhere on defense because there's areas they're going to take advantage of. Because running the ball to them is secondary. So now Bo Nix is trying to say, what's the weakness? Double moves and seams. And that's how they got back into the game.
Yeah.
So Chicago going to do the same thing.
Right, and they can do that if you're not getting pass rush, because those are longer developing routes.
Man, that's you on your game today. That's exactly right. That takes time.
Yeah. And so what do they do? I mean, Enigbari and Gary should be able to get to the quarterback, but they're not going to be able to. Nobody does it like Micah Parsons.
Not on that first step. But see, the game changes now. It's just like one of your pitchers that throws a lot of fastballs, gets injured, he's out. You got to bring in the guy that throws a lot of curveballs. Well, sooner or later, the second time around that lineup, they'll know you're throwing curveballs, they're going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
So you have to use it as a committee. And every time they substitute, Tom, you got to substitute. You can't keep the same defense out there unless they keep the same offense.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they switch, personnel-wise, that's how you beat teams, and that's how you keep them off guard. You remember when San Francisco, we went out there and they thought we was going to play a 4-3, and we threw up some 3-4, and they caught them by surprise and we beat them. Mm-hmm. But again, we didn't confuse the players.
Right.
We just used it amongst our scheme, and it worked.
Yeah, and the part that I would be nervous about as a coach is without Micah Parsons. He makes their corners much better than they are. And as we're going to show in X's and O's, there's just some breakdowns that are inexcusable. But, man, you got to be nervous about the way the corners have played. I mean, Keyshawn Nixon made that great play against the Bears. Phenomenal
That's last
play.
week. You got to live week by week.
Right. And, and you can't drop interceptions. No. That's a totally different game if they catch two of those interceptions, which we'll show in X's and O's.
Denver were trying to be aggressive, but they were giving you an opportunity.
Yes. And they gave you opportunities by going for it on fourth down.
Yes.
Yeah. And they gave you 3 opportunities at the end of the game to win it. Now that's to pivot onto the offense and Jordan Love. Yeah. That's the only disappointing part I would have about Love's performance.
Yes.
And not even the interceptions, but more so that he couldn't drive them for a score to tie the game, or at least try to tie the game.
This may sound confusing, but give me some space for it.
Okay.
I would take Jordan Love over Bo Nix. but I needed Jordan Love to play like Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So throw it to the open guy, get the ball out, but his line gives up the fewest sacks in the league, and his defense gets more sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So Bo Nix has a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Jordan Love is not working with experienced guys, but I needed him to basically manage the game now, because the game is going to turn. Without Micah Parsons, it's going to be different. Without Watson, it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Without number 50, it's going to be different at right tackle.
Yeah.
Things are going to change. So him and Matt have to pivot to some way, keep the game close enough for us to make a run. And when you do score, that's when you cannot kick the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
Because that put them on the 35-yard line, Tom, and that seemed to get the momentum. So I needed Jordan Love to play like Bo Nix and really give himself opportunities. Because there was some opportunities.
Yes.
It was some opportunities. Missed it.
Jordan Love made some unbelievable throws.
Oh, my
great throws.
God.
But what he
made some great throws.
do was Bo Nix threw more.
Yeah.
Threw more beautiful balls.
And timely at the right time.
Yes, timely.
Yes.
And Love has got to make those clutch throws, and he's got to be a little bit more accurate. You know, he can't throw behind Dontavian Wicks, even though Wicks probably should have caught it. But, there's just some balls. I don't blame him for the deep ball, because I think he got hit.
Yeah, because if he steps into that ball goes about 5 yards further, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Because he's running away from Surtain to it. But Surtain didn't give up on it.
No.
And the thing about, when we talk about these interceptions, and that was Surtain's first interception, I think. The thing about it, Tom, we've been talking about this on this show forever now, he expected to get the interception. So in other words, in his mind, we have, as defenders, we have what we call a panic state. As we're running for the ball, they're running for the ball, and you have to, it's like a 0 point, less than 1 second. I'm panicking. What do I do? Do I break it up, or do I? No, I'm going to calm down and intercept it.
Right.
That's
treat it like you're the receiver.
Treat it like it's coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference. And Surtain was thinking, hey, I can catch up with one of the fastest guys in the league. And yes, there's the ball, I'm going to get it. Not break it up. I'm going to change the game by intercepting it. Now, some people will say when they were up 23-14, why would you run the ball? Well, if he runs the ball, you guys are going to say he's sitting on the lead.
Mm-hmm.
If they go back and say, I want everything right, I want that coverage, I want my guy, we're going to call the same play. Mm-hmm. But you got to protect the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Give him a chance.
Yeah.
So let's just go over their injury situation a little bit.
You can remember all these guys?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah. Christian Watson, not season-ending, potentially
maybe
not long-term.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think they've even ruled him out of this week. I don't know
Chicago's
how that'll
hoping
go.
he's moved.
Yeah.
He ripped them bad.
They are a much better team when he's in the game. But we did see Matthew Golden start to emerge.
Who led the team in yards? 3 catches, 55
5 yards, and drew a 25-yard pass interference penalty. He's starting to come around, I think, a little bit.
For him, it's just opportunities.
Yeah.
It's opportunities. Because they also had like 3 drop passes that hit him right in the hands.
Sometimes it's good. So if Watson doesn't play, sometimes that gives a guy like Golden his opportunity.
Absolutely.
Like he's been waiting, and now, maybe this is the opportunity for him. We'll see. Right tackle to me is the most concerning of them all, because Zach Tom is, you can leave him one-on-one with almost anybody, and they gave up a lot of heat at the end. His injury is not serious. It's probably going to be a matter of whether he can move and how much pain there is. So
I know they don't. A lot of information don't come out ahead of time, and we're doing this a little bit early because it's a short week.
Yeah.
It just nowadays you just hope it's not something new. If it's an old entity that you're managing, you kind of feel good about it. But if it's something new, sometimes it may make you say, let's just wait to the Ravens game. But this game this week could be way
there's
more
no
important.
waiting.
No,
not on this game. I think he just got it twisted, and he said, I talked to him after the game, he said there's no structural damage. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be just a matter of whether he can move the way he wants to move.
Yes.
Micah Parsons, of course, is out. Evan Williams, I don't think there's a good chance. I think it's questionable whether he would be able to play. So you're talking about probably moving Javon Bullard to safety and then maybe moving Nate Hobbs into the slot position?
Well, if Nate Hobbs is healthy, you may want to replace him with 24 because 24 to me, Carrington Valentine is a young corner, but he got to challenge receivers. Get up there and challenge them. I mean, you got to believe in your skills, but the football instincts that we talked about that 25 had last week, to not even knowing where Komet was, but really sniffed the play out to intercept it. All of those instincts went out the window this week. Because sooner or later, you know they were going to run an out and up on you. And sooner or later, they were going to just run go routes on 24. You got to challenge these guys. Because if you don't challenge these guys, when they play the zone, they leave the guy in the middle wide open. It's just a rotation of zones. So the coaches are kind of in a pickle. What do we do?
Yeah.
You know, do we sell out, but the corners are not playing at a high level right now?
I'd be scared to blitz a lot. You know, unless I know I can get there. But you're going to have to figure out something to get more pressure. Other injuries, you know, there were some other minor ones. Quay Walker came back. He's okay. Josh Wiley, the tight end, got drilled and got that concussion. And he's actually been playing quite a bit. But Luke Musgrave's starting to give a little bit of a contribution too, so they do have him. You know, I'll ask you, what do they have to do to beat the Bears? I mean, you know, they're fired up and want revenge for that loss.
I think the Bears, you got to be honest with themselves. They learned something. Last year, a couple of years ago, remember they lost to the Hail Mary to Commanders? It destroyed the season and they went down. I think they learned from the bad loss or a loss they deemed they should have won to the Packers. Instead of like going into a hole, they came out and dominated Cleveland.
Right.
A Cleveland team that beat the Packers, you know, like 13-10. So they just dominated them in every phase. And they got DJ Moore involved. He got 2 touchdowns. After then wasn't even available. It seemed like they weren't even giving him the ball against the Packers. And they're going to use the tight ends. I mean, 84 they just love him to death, him and Clement. So you got to pick your poison with these guys. You know Caleb is going to want to run around, but I'm going to tell you this, Tom. I'd be shocked if he throws the ball 10 times. They got one of the best running games this year. They're the new Detroit. They're going to run it with Kyle, and they're going to run it with Swift, who I think is one of the most improved players in this league. Their running game is unstoppable at times. But the problem is the coaches try to be the smartest person in the room to fool you to try to throw the ball. But without Micah Parsons and without number 9 on offense, Watson, they figure we got him right where you want him to be. But that's when Matt has to sell his team on circling the wagons and going up there beating them. Because you know what? We always beat them up there. And you have to understand that. But the most physical team will win this week. And the Packers have to be the more physical team. Stop the run and force Caleb to beat you.
All right.
But I'm also going to pick the Packers because, again, Matt LaFleur has a very good record in December. But, again, if you can't stop that run, trust me when I tell you this, if the Chicago Bears have a chance to embarrass you, they're going to try to do it.
I think so too.
Yes, but you got the key is to scoring 28 points.
There's a real good chance that if both teams make the playoffs, they play each other in the first round.
Remember we played Detroit 3 times, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to beat a team 3 times, but it's hard to even play them 3 times. But when you're so familiar with a team, it's hard to change anything because you think everything works. But the more disciplined team, when you got a guy held up and just throwing the guy down for 15 yards, can't do that.
Nope.
You can't. Those are the kind of things that the post, I think Rashid had 4 penalties by himself, didn't he? So those are the kind of things that drive coaches nuts. The dead ball after the whistle fouls or a holding foul when you don't need to really hold a guy. When you're on the road, Tom, you got to play a perfect game.
Yes, you do.
And I need Jordan Love to separate himself, to get back into the MVP conversation, like 4 touchdowns, absolutely no turnovers, and Josh Jacobs you can run the ball on Chicago, but they got to just stick to it.
Yeah, you're better off running it than throwing it.
So I think the Packers will win 28-21.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. All right. You want to thank some people?
Yeah, again, I want to thank Pick and Save, of course. Anytime you're at Pick and Save, we're still rounding up. We want to try to help some families this holiday season. And I also want to thank Tito's Tortito's chips. Did you ever get some more chips?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll hook you up for some more. And go to visitmilwaukee.org if you're anywhere in Milwaukee. We have something on there called Ask LeRoy. You can ask me anything about Milwaukee. And if you're looking to just laugh like you are now after a Packer loss, go to charliebarons.com. He has a new special, and it's funny. And let me know how you like it.
All right. And don't forget to check in with X's and O's.
Oh, please stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I tortured him this week, so you can enjoy it. All right. We'll see you next week after the Bears game. Take care, everyone.